Four things. I'll talk about four issues that are important to me. First of all, and the governor has already touched on this a little bit, fiscal responsibility. Yeah, it's a big one for me. We're going to go up to Helena. Paul and I and 150 legislators are going to have to balance the budget, work with the governor, figure out what our cushion is, and figure out those priorities of where our values are and what the pie is, and how do we use money, the tool, money, to achieve our objectives to make our lives better. It's a big task, but I'm up for it. We know Paul's up for it. The governor's been up for it, and we're going to go up there and work for you on that. Anything's up to cut as far as I'm concerned, except K-12 education. That's the one that's very, very sacred to me. And now I'll talk a little bit about education. I come from a family of teachers. You know, Madge Kampfe, many of you knew, vivacious, full of life. She taught in Luther, she taught in Fishtail, she taught in Cilicia, she taught all over Roscoe.
Reed Point.
Yeah, Reed Point. She taught all over this district. My mom, who taught at Red Lodge High School for over 20 years. My sister-in-law, Mo. And you hear a lot of talk about, okay, let's fix education. Well, we need higher standards, and we need no child left behind, and we need to implement this and make a policy. No child left behind doesn't educate our kids. A new policy and new regulations doesn't educate our kids. Higher standards for teachers doesn't educate a kid. You know who educates a kid? A teacher educates a kid.
Yeah.
We have just lost one of our top high school teachers at Red Lodge High School to Wyoming. She's making over 2.5 times the money. We cannot fall behind in paying our teachers. And if we really value it, we need to put our money where our mouth is. Next, we are an energy state, and Governor talked about this a bit. And I'm for the responsible development of energy. And that's the responsible development. We just don't go out and tear up whatever somebody needs. We have environmental standards, we have community standards, and it's all taken into consideration when we develop. And not everyone is going to agree with the decisions. And I support Otter Creek, for example. And I know that there's some people who don't, in this right here, who don't support it. And there are going to be tough decisions like that, and we aren't going to agree. But coal is our present, and it might not be our future, but it is here and now, and it's right now. And we're not going to fund our schools unless we develop this our energy and being able to tax it and get revenue from it. They go hand in hand. Another issue for me is viable farms and ranches. If ranchers aren't making it, what do? Exactly. And we, all Montanans, whether we live in cities and towns or out here in the country, we all value our open spaces. We all value those spaces where we can fish and hunt. We all value our landscapes. And if farms and ranches are subdivided or sold out, we don't have that. We lose that. So we need to really look at tools to help that. On the agricultural front, our ranch here, 12,000 acres, is under conservation easement. And I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of our family for making that decision, and that's a tough decision to do. Very tough. And I'd like to see more farms and ranches to be able to do this. But it doesn't happen when only the privileged can do it. Everyone should be able to access tools that allow them to have a conservation easement without having be bankrolled from somewhere else. It should not be a privilege, such a privilege based on just financial ability. So what I want to do is look up in Helena, look at the tools that we have, models that are used in other countries and other communities to keep our agricultural land as agricultural land. So that's another thing I'm very interested in, looking forward to looking at. education, fiscal responsibility. That's 4. Wow. And there's the one thing we don't talk about. So.